in the description below, I demonstrated how to deploy Portal and the Digital Asset Manager and Content Composer on OpenShift. In this video, I will extend that environment by demonstrating how to deploy and use the OpenLDAP image with Portal. First, let's examine the product documentation. Per the doc, I will deploy the OpenLDAP container using a config map, similarly to how I deployed the Digital Asset Manager. The config map name must match the deployment name, which in my case, I already have it created since I already deployed the Digital Asset Manager. There are options to specify a custom org, password, and suffix. In my case, I'm just going to use the defaults. There are also some details on how to add users, and one last note is that the OpenLDAP container will require 3 self-provisioned volumes. Switching over to my OpenShift environment, I want to mention that I'm using an OKD environment for demonstration purposes only. Please refer to the product documentation to see HCL's supported platforms for Portal. Now I have Portal deployed in my OIH-DX-deployment project. As you can see, the core, the operator, and the other pods are currently running. I also only have one core pod running. If I had multiple core replicas running, I would need to reduce it to a single replica before proceeding. Here is my current config map. Making sure I have at least 3 volumes available. Okay, so here are the parameters I will use. The enable parameter is set to true, and I'm specifying the image and the tag from my private registry for the OpenLDAP image. The image has already been uploaded to my registry. If you would like to see details on uploading the Portal images to a private registry, please refer to the Getting Started with HCL Portal and OpenShift video. So first, I'll make sure I'm using the right project. Next, I need to edit my config map. As you can see with the tags, I'm using the 1.8.4 release of HCL Portal. Finally, I'll apply the new config map. Back on my OpenShift web console, you can see the volumes have already been bound. In reviewing the pods, I can see the core pod is terminating and the OpenLDAP pod has been created. I should next see the core pod get recreated and it should start in init mode. Behind the scenes, Portal will be reconfigured to use the additional LDAP repository. I can also verify my additions have been added to the config map. So once Portal is reconfigured, it should be running again. Now since I use the defaults, the OpenLDAP repository will have 10 test users. However, if you specify custom values when deploying, it will not have any pre-existing test users. So I can check to see if the test users are under the Portal administration page. And I do, so that looks good. Also, I can quickly check the federated repositories in the WAS admin console, and I should see the additional LDAP. And here we can see the new OpenLDAP repository. At this point, I have deployed OpenLDAP and it has been added to use with Portal. But if you noticed when I logged into Portal, I still used a WPS admin account, which is the default account created when the core image was deployed. This is because that while Portal is configured to use the additional LDAP, it did not change neither the Portal nor WAS administrator user. If I want to change the administrator user, I need to add the user and group to the LDAP repository and run the appropriate config engine commands. So first, here's a product documentation page on updating the administrator user, which gives us the config engine command to use. Next, taking the sample from the OpenLDAP product page, I have modified it to create a Portal admin user and group. As you can see, I already have created an LDIF file with my sample user and group. I now need to copy it to the OpenLDAP pod. Then I need to access the bash terminal of the pod and add the user and group using the LDAP add command. Note, these steps and commands were all taken from the OpenLDAP product documentation page from the start of the video. With the user and group added, I now need to access the bash terminal of the core pod and run the config engine command. I'm running the WP change portal admin user and WP change WAS admin user tasks and passing in the new user and group. After the task is complete, I need to restart Portal for the changes to take effect. Once Portal is restarted, I should be able to log into Portal with my new administrator ID and make sure I have access to the Portal administration. I should also see my new user in the Manage Users and Groups portlet. One last action I need to do is update the secrets for the admin user. There are two secrets, the dx-deployment-was and the dx-deployment.wps, which contain a double base 64 encoding of the username and password. First, I'll get the encoding of my new username and password. Copy those out to reference later. Now I can use the OC API to update the secrets. One last note, you saw that I can log in and access Portal successfully, so you might be wondering why I need to update the secrets if Portal is working fine without them. The reason we need to update them is because the operator uses these secrets whenever it needs to reconfigure Portal. So if the secrets don't have the correct values, it will lead to the configuration tasks failing in the future. This concludes this video on using OpenLDAP with Portal on OpenShift.